So, can you tell us what you've been practicing here this afternoon?
Well, we've concocted a little entertainment, which is an imaginary flute lesson given by Quantz, that's me, to King Frederick the Great of Prussia.
And that's me.
He was a mad keen flute player. He took his flute on all his military campaigns. It was never from his side. And when he wasn't out winning battles, he organised a huge amount of music in his court, and there was a concert every night.
This is what I couldn't believe, that there were since preparing for this, 3 concertos every night.
Well, I don't think every night necessarily, but that was a typical night in 1778, I think. Charles Burney went, and Frederick was practising madly and playing 3 concertos that night, apparently very well. But Frederick was a complicated guy. He had a very, very nasty childhood, in fact. His father beat him in front of the servants and generally abused him.
Probably killed his lover in front of him, and he was maybe looking at his cell.
He was in solitary confinement for a year as well. I mean, horrible stuff. But after the king died, Frederick made up for it by building an opera house and hiring lots of great musicians, including Quantz. In fact, Quantz had been his secret flute teacher for 13 years already. And Carl Philipp Emanuel Bach, Franz and Georg Bender.
And why for you are you so looking forward to taking part in this event?
I think I'm looking forward to it because of trying to be like a king, and actually I've got a free flute lesson, so it's actually nice to be reminded of the articulations again, because we're going to spend some time talking about the tonguing, different articulations that they used. So that's sort of a reminder for me. So yeah, free flute lesson.
I think Neil just likes dressing up.
And what do you think the audience are going to learn from the experience?
I think they're going to learn about the articulation, and also about when when it gets hot, the flute slips on the lip, and that they use the powder from the wig to keep it stable, so they can carry on playing.
I'm hoping that it will be entertaining and touching at the same time, because I think if you give somebody flute lessons for over 40 years, which is what it was a huge commitment. They must have been close, in fact, and Quantz wrote him a huge amount of music because he was greedy for flute concertos and sonatas, and
made his instruments.
And made the flutes for him, yes. One of the things I've enjoyed thinking about while I prepared this was the relationship between them, because we both teach a lot, so we're involved in teaching, and we know we have some difficult students. We have some very rich students and maybe some very poor ones, although I don't think we either of us teach royalty.
But actually also we've been playing in this orchestra together for 22 years.
Yes.
So it's quite a long time really for me to have a flute lesson.
Yes, so if we forget the script, we might be able to just lapse into general banter, which is what happens when we're playing. Yes, it's an excuse for me to boss Neil around, really.
And I've put up with it for 20 years, so what's another concert,